Let's go. Hope you guys had a wonderful day and a blessed weekend. Let's get it going. Let's talk about this best way possible. From GOAT to scapegoat, the Amari Cooper saga continues. The smear campaign that's laid upon everyone. It's crazy. It's flat out crazy. Let's go. Shame how Cowboys operate and run their facility. It's crazy, Cowboy Nation. Let me get a mic check. Mic check 1, 2, and 3. Yup. Come on. Yeah, 5, 4, 3, 2. Let's go. All right, Cowboy Nation. The name is Law Nation. As we talk about this Amari Cooper conversation that's all around the news, all around the world. Man gave up. He don't have a work ethic, right? Everybody else didn't, but he is the one that's not giving in 100%. Oh my goodness, I can't make this stuff up. And a third of you guys are just going along, go along, get along people, man. Didn't look at the film, didn't verify the tape. Y'all say, yeah, that is what Amari Cooper is doing. He's giving up. So I'm gonna tell all of y'all, let's stop the music.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
Let me say it again for everybody who
shame,
who think
shame
that this is nothing
shame.
to do with the money and the smear campaign that they got out and the egregious assault that they have out there on Amari Cooper. And this is crazy. Let me hear it one more time. I cannot believe it.
Shame. Shame.
He had 8 touchdowns this past season, matching his total 8 targeted touchdowns that he had his first year here with the Dallas Cowboys. He averaged north of 12 yards per reception. And somehow, yes, he didn't get 1,000 yards. And he did all of this, Cowboy Nation, with only 100 targets.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
It's crazy out here, Cowboy Nation. So, as I look back at everything, I kind of like to measure twice, cut once, make sure that make sure my audio straight. I hope I ain't too loud. Let me know if I'm okay with you guys, you know. Let me know if audio is straight.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
Shout out to you, Natasha. Appreciate you, Stephen White. Thank you for jumping in. Posey, thank you for being part of this episode. I appreciate you guys. Yeah, sounds good. Appreciate you, Stephen. Appreciate you. All right, so here it is again. So I said,
shame. Shame. Shame.
What the Cowboys supposed to do at this point? What they supposed to do when you have a guy that's due a check, and we've been talking about this for a minute, when your check is due, now you're trying to figure out, okay, I'm trying to lower that cost at all costs. We leak stuff out to beat writers. We leak stuff out to reporters. We tell people about certain situations, whether it's an NFL insider or whether it's a Cowboys insider or whether it's a source of a source / rumors. This is uncalled for.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
Right now, the New York Giants, they are in a situation with Saquon Barkley. That do they re-up his salary, or do they look at it and allow this guy to walk, go somewhere else? I haven't heard any news about the negativity part of Saquon Barkley because they have him revered in a different way, a different light. But the Dallas Cowboys philosophy and structure, the way we handle and operate things, whether it's true, whether it's false, whether it's really what's coming out of the owner's mouth, but it's not coming out of the owner's mouth, they allow this bead of information to be sullied and spread upon everybody. And I cannot make this stuff up. So you mean to tell me at first you got a guy who don't talk, right? He's silent. He could be in his room right next to me. You wouldn't know, right? Come on, Amari. Come on over, dog. He's sitting right there. You would never know. You would flat out never know. But since he refused to bend to your making, now he's painted as the villain, the bad guy that gives up on plays, that when you look at everything, of course, Amari Cooper as the wide receiver that's known to be divas, you play more off-ball production than there actually are production, believe it or not. So if you're going to nitpick and say, well, we're going to marginalize all of this, and we're going to say that this guy didn't block, he didn't give forth or bring forth the best effort, it becomes hearsay talk. It becomes, oh, wow, this guy must be evil. So you burn the midnight oil, you start looking at film, you start looking at tape, and you say, what the hell are they talking about? I don't see it. Then that's the fabrication for the nation. Because that's the only way. Because I think that a third of the people that's listening, they probably just casual Cowboy fans that's watching the football game, and they mad that the fact that the Cowboys lost. They're angry. They're upset. They're looking for someone to fall on the sword. Oh, it got to be the money. Well, you knew that you paid this man this money, and you knew it was coming up before that time frame. How about do the reverse effect? How about lift the brother up and say, hey, he was the shining hope. He brought forth a lot of golden opportunities for us, and trade him in that fashion versus saying, all right, we're going to allow you to leak this out. Oh, okay, he wasn't good in the locker room here. Oh, he really, the people really didn't care for him much because he didn't bring up extra attitude to the field. Oh, and the storyline in Raiders, although it was false when he was in the Raiders, but now they are true. That's the craziest part of it all. They was false. I can't make this stuff up.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
The storyline was like, it was just a change of scenery that he needed, right? It was all negative news in the Raiders land. It was all false accusations. But now they are true because we don't want to pay the $16 million because he refused to restructure. How dare he do such a thing? Now, here's the situation. Here's the situation. And shout out to you, Ida. Let me pull it up over here. She says, no, that just, she says that I'm freezing up over here. That's just the Illuminati all over the body over here, baby.
Bruh.
You know, that's just what that is, you know. They'll want me to get this message out, but that's okay. I'm going down with the fight, but I hope all is well. I see 8 and 9 season. Why not do something with Zeke Elliott contract? This is from Rodney. All right, so we talked about this before, that the Cowboys could free up $70 million. And you can't see it from here. Let me fix this thing up right quick. Freeing up $70 million is very quite possible, right? It's not like, look, the greatest myth of all time, the greatest one, is that there's this salary cap that sits upon, and it's this evil man, right, that hurts teams from making deals and going through negotiations. It's called the salary cap, which we all know that that's bullshit, right? Because we've seen the Saints play with $76 million over the cap. Just like that, they got it down for 40. They still over the cap by $42 to $45 million, by the way. But we've seen the storyline is this right here. The NFL, let me just type it in. The NFL salary cap, meaning, let me see if they got it right here. Normally they have it up here. All right. Let me see. Let me put the NFL. Because all this stuff is crazy. Let me pull it up between these right here. It says, a salary cap is the essential an agreement between the league and its players that places a limit of the amount of money a team can spend on salary players, right? The NFL uses a hard cap, meaning that no team is allowed to exceed. Read upon that. No team is allowed to exceed the cap limits for any reason. Not for a certain reason, but it literally says for any reason that you cannot exceed the salary cap. That's what I wanted to put out there, at any reason. And if you click onto that article and read a little bit further, it said at any part or any term during the season. So at the end of the season, somehow, before the start of the new season, we still see every year teams hovering around above the cap. And before the start of the next season, what they do is they try to get below the cap, right? But that's bullshit, because in the contract information, it says at any point of the season, you can't be over the salary cap. Meaning that I can't be hovering over $200 million in cap, or I can't be hovering, if the cap is $208 million, I can't be hovering over $209 million, because it said it is a hard cap league. Now, what I'm trying to figure out is, what are the penalties? You're going to lose a few draft picks if you stay over a little bit? Bullsugar. There are no penalties. This thing is all cooked up and faked up so that people can get mad at the players versus the owners. Let me repeat. People are getting mad at the players versus the owners. Law, do you have any information on that? Yeah. They start talking about value and worth. Man, you know, Michael Gallup is cool and all, but he ain't worth $15 million a year. Oh, Cedric Wilson is cool and all, but he ain't worth $10 million a year. You see where I'm going? So if Cedric Wilson say, hey, I would like to request to be seen from another team that's going to give me $17 million, they're going to like, nah, dog, we ain't going to let that happen. No. He ain't worth $17 million. According to who? Oh, the value that they put on players by the level of production. That's just crazy how this thing can all goes in this situation about the fans picking the size of the owner and say, yeah, you know what? They right. This dude ain't worth $15 million. You're right. This dude don't deserve to hit the open market to see what his value is amongst all of the other teams. Huh? Because of his level of production. Regardless of the scheme, regardless of the system, regardless of the targets, regardless of the system, Lamb is still number one. He's still young. This is from Blake. Yeah. I think Lamb is pretty good. CD Lamb is about to go off this year. This is from Christian. Yeah, so when I looked at the all 22 version of the film, it will be out as soon as I end this live stream. There were some golden opportunities for CD Lamb in his past game, the 49ers game. And we look at the last tape to do the justification of everything, right? There were some open targets that Dak Prescott didn't hit, unfortunately. And on top of that, far as Amari Cooper, there was some golden opportunities that we didn't get a chance to establish because of, one, I looked at some of the tape. Dak Prescott looking down one receiver, and Amari Cooper was open, and the other, the offensive line, being pushed back. And this game wasn't the best game. And we've been talking about this 49ers game for a minute. This game wasn't the best game for big number 77 as well. Byram says, get Sky Moore. Overall, now I do know that this particular draft is heavy at wide receivers. And it seems as if, though, March the 20th can't get here fast enough, because March the 20th is the deadline, and we all know deadline make deals, right? According to the Jones family. They like that saying, and they love to hover around the deadline. They probably squeezing the, I'm trying to keep it PG-13, but they literally, shout out to you, Mario, they literally got Amari Cooper by his gonads. I'm going to say that. I think that's a free word I can say. They got him by his gonads. And every time they hey, seep this out, they squeezing him. Hey, seep this out about Gallup, they squeezing him. And by the 20th come, if he haven't folded up like a wallet or a cheap tent, they'd have go ahead and crush him all the way. But right now, they the visual is real, And then every time the news leak out, they squeezing. And he's and he's just getting smaller and smaller, and he's soaking and soaking. I wouldn't even want to play for an organization that continue to allow this bevy of information to get out there. And all they doing is just squeezing. Come on over here. Come on over here. Because now, if Gallup fool around and say, yeah, they closed that Gallup deal before March the 20th, they then got that grip on there even harder, on gonads. And they really going to have them, And that's just how that goes. Oh, my gosh. Appreciate you. Thank you for the donation here. Clark, thank you for jumping in with the donation to help support the nation. Yeah. That's the reality of it. And the Cowboys this is the plan that they can do. Let me see if I went too far down. Okay, Amari Cooper. Let me be kind and share this article. Let me be kind and share this article with you guys. I really appreciate y'all for jumping in. Really appreciate you for jumping in. I'm going to go back to the article. He carries a 3-year, $60 million left on his contract with the escape clause of $22 million hit from the 2022 season with the escape clause, I meant to say, of freeing up $16 million this particular season. Now, I went into great details of talking to you guys, y'all beautiful people on this beautiful day, about how they got him by the short hairs, right? And or the gonads, right? Well, here's the thing. Even the hairs can hurt. You pull those hairs, they hurt. So here's the thing. They can restructure most of it, the $20 million, into a signing bonus, and it can take upon the 2 voided years of his contract. And we went over the details with this, and it can free up cap space of $15.1 million of cap space, okay? And that is what Rayne Dakota Prescott did. He said, you know what? I do know the circumstances of my contract, and I understand what is going on. Therefore, I'm going to recalibrate my contract so that we can free up some money to give a little relief. And I'm quite sure that that was the language of the contract that was given to Dak Prescott on the front end. Now, a lot of people look at Dak Prescott contract. If we go all the way back to the top here, I think he was the top dog on this one. All right, $34.45 million is ranked now at the 8th. So he fully restructured. $20 million salary drop down to 19.2, and is predicting to save about $15.1 million, right? So that's the story of a different day on Dak Prescott, right? So he's getting some of that money back for what he said that he's worth, right? What most people say that he's worth. But that's a story of a different day too. All right, so back to this storyline here. If you trade him prior to June 1st, you can free up $16 million.
FBI, open up!
I'm going to tell y'all. Shout out to you, Peter. Man, thank you for sharing. Why would you want to trade now? Why would you trade? If I'm the only way a team would be willing to trade for Amari Cooper if it's a straight up favor, right? For the Jones family, like a little, like, hey, got a favor for a favor. Only way I can see a trade to go down the other way, I'm gonna give you 3 possible ways. Let's do 3. Rule of 3. One way would be a favor. 2 way would be, hey, we messed up really bad. We didn't get the wide receiver that we really wanted out of the draft. And I just feel that we need that true number 1. So we're gonna parlay with the Cowboys, right? The third situation would be before June, if they have like mini OTAs or something like that, if somebody get arrested, slam into a wall, and get, hurt for the rest of the year, and it was their number 1 receiver, or if it was somebody that was really valuable to their team and organization, and they say, well, Amari Cooper is out there, we can go trade for him. That's how Gilmore went to the Panthers. Their number one DB was out for the year, and the Patriots were about to release him to save cap space or what have you. And they said, no, we would interject, we would jump in, and we would pick him up, the Carolina Panthers. Although it was reported, if you guys remember, that he was released. But they said, no. We put in a trade offer right before 3 o'clock, and they were able to skip ahead. But I don't see that happening for Amari Cooper, especially after all of this bad news came about. All right, so Blake says, I like Cooper, but I think CD was drafted to be the number 1, and we'll have his chance now. Gallup is our number 2. Draft the speedster, Simi, and Turner. I'm good. So you will have to re-sign Turner because Turner is on the free market, Blake, and as well as Gallup. We don't know. We flat out don't know. In the last 3 games, one thing we do know, that Gallup missed more games than Amari Cooper. We do know that. So if CeeDee Lamb, and I know his growth can grow, from 1 year to the next. I mean, we looked at his body structure. He was bigger this season, right? Like he was eating the weights. Still a little light in the pants, but I can only imagine that if CD. Now, what I don't want CD to do is to get too big now. I don't want him to do the good old Felix Jones route, right? Felix Jones, the whole situation and scenario is that we thought that he can get more carries, but he's just too light in the pants. So he tried to bulk up, and I guess he ate too much peanut butter and jelly sandwiches all throughout the offseason because he came back looking like a little bowling ball with legs. We don't want that for CD. We don't. We definitely don't, but I appreciate you for the donation there. Did Gallup already had surgery? No, he had surgery by last week, and he had surgery in Dr. Cooper, who's the Cowboys medical doctor who works with the Cowboys, who necessarily don't work for the Cowboys, but work in conjunction with the Cowboys. It's one hell of a doctor from what I heard, is that he's expected to be ready for the start of the year. But we heard storylines like this before. Show of hands. Who heard the storylines of Blake Jarwin is expected to be ready for the start of the year last season, right? We heard storylines. He's expected to be back for the start of the year, and we was talking about, he come back. He's going to be able to be mixed in with Dalton Schultz, and it's going to be phenomenal. Right? So we heard storylines. We seen this talk track before. Let me know. I ain't lying to kick it. World-class doctor, Stephen White, you're right. Jarwin haven't been healthy in 2 seasons. Right? And this is from my guy, B.D. Gray. And the same could be said to my guy, Michael Gallup. Right? So we hope all is well, but it's a swing in the dark, man. Come on, Gallup. Come on, Gallup. Come on, Gallup. We want you out there, Gallup. Swing in the dark, man. We fighting for the man. Unique storyline, from Georgia area. And we want what's best for him. We know his storyline, his brother committing suicide, and he coming out there and say, you know what, I'm going to come out and play my best anyhow. And lit it up that year. And we were rooting for him, and then of course, we talk about toe drag swag, boy, and one cheek equals 2 feet, Gallup. And we saw Gallup the year before last use Jalen Ramsey, right? And then Jalen Ramsey did the little flopping accident, I'm an actor, We want the best for these boys, but we don't know. Lamb has dropped 16 passes in 2 seasons. Cooper has dropped 6 in 2 seasons. That's that's the thing with Amari Cooper. They painted this man into a corner now. He's the enemy. Public enemy number 1. Right? Gallup calf strain was out for 8 weeks when they said it was going to be a 4-week deal. This is from Brian Bradford. Yeah, on my Twitter. Let me I'm try to hurry up with this podcast, man. I really appreciate y'all, man. Chad Ochocinco, whether you take his information for a grain of salt or not, the touches decreased so that they can say the production wasn't worthy of the salary. Nothing wrong with Amari, but this is business and how they get you off the books. Let me see what I got here. Say it again for me. I'm going to read this again. Chad Johnson replied to this dude. He said, I knew as soon as Amari Cooper started talking slick about his touches, It was time for the Cowboys. His time with the Cowboys was over. Law, do you have any more information on that?
Was tweeting out yesterday. And I don't know if you were aware of what Cole Beasley was tweeting out yesterday about management deciding who gets the football in an offensive scheme, Stephen.
I would hope that's just his frustration, but certainly not at all the case. I mean, we don't get involved in that. We do, the only thing we ever do is decide to tell you if we're going to, pay players a lot of money or we're going to trade for players and give up big picks, that we certainly hope that they would be involved. If we're going to do things like that there's a reason we're doing it, that they're going to be involved, but we would never dictate where balls go or things of that nature in terms of the game plan and getting involved with what our coaching staff does to get ready to play a ball game.
To some people, when I play that clip, and I also when I read out the Chad Johnson or Ocho Cinco statement, they say, man, Law, that's hogwash, man. That ain't nothing but propaganda talk. Jones family don't do that at all. They don't do that. Right? That is a disgruntled player on his way out. That was when Cole Beasley, his final year with the Cowboys in 2019, was bumping off at the mouth, speaking out of terms, right? The front office don't do that. T.O. was just mad. Patrick Creighton, man, he dropped the ball. That's why he was mad. They gave him another opportunity to be back at the Star, so that was Patrick Creighton's fault. Definitely not the quarterback or the coaching philosophy fault. Come on, Law. Martellus Bennett was washed. The thing that he was talking about with Jason Witten was just BS stories, right? And Terrell Owens and Dez Bryant, come on, man. They just lying. Old folks say this all the time. Not everybody's lying. Write that down. There's a truth somewhere in there. So at this point, we are seeing some of the repeated history that's happening right now. And his name is not Cole Beasley, nor Dez Bryant, nor Martellus Bennett, nor T.O. Patrick Creighton. Terrence Williams talked out too, but he don't hold enough water for me to find that clip, I guess, because, he fool around and, I ain't going to talk about my guy, but it is what it is. Now it's Amari Cooper's turn. Oh, my gosh, it's Amari Cooper's turn. Went from GOAT, people were saying, yes, he's the GOAT, Law. I'm buying me a number 19 jersey, man. You saw him put up 255 yards against the Eagles. Come on, man. Now he's the scapegoat, He is not worth $20 million a year. This is what Blake says. And I get it. But is he worth, look, let me ask you this. Is he worth the slander? Is he worth the shame, the ridicule? Is he worth them allowing this to happen to one of their players? Gilmore was on his way out. Blake says Gilmore versus Coop shut down. Gilmore was on his way out. And did you hear the Patriots organization saying, well, Gilmore is not worth? It just happened like splat out overnight. J.C. Jackson caught multiple interceptions, was killing it on the other side of the field, and people were sitting there saying, shout out to you, Ken, from the 409, appreciate you. People literally saying, man, Gilmore's, man, he's a dog. And just like this, he was gone. He was gone. Stephen White said, to get out of $20 million, I would slander you too, Lord. Come on, man. Come on. Oh my gosh, man. Y'all some evil people, man. Oh my goodness. I guess to get out of the pride of the fact that Jimmy Johnson actually helped the Cowboys get those 3 Super Bowls in the 90s, they say, man, I'll fall on this thing and say, man, I will lose every year, but I won't put your name up there to get you any deed of credit, any bead of credit. That's what see y'all's are sons and daughters of thinking of the Jerry Jones philosophy. That's what it is. You know, y'all evil, baby. Reporting live from Stephen White. Law Nation is really not Law Nation, it's Chris Nation, and I'm slandering him. To get $20 million. Oh my gosh, breaking news.
Breaking news.
Y'all greedy. Look, I posted, man, on my IG page when Jerry Jones, he got a little sick and didn't go to Indy like he used to be. And he used to be on that bus, wherever that bus go, Jerry there, right? It's kind of like the Cowboys reporting live from the yacht, and you don't see Jerry there. You sitting there like, come on now. Y'all don't have to lie to kick it. And I said, man, we hope all is well with Jerry Jones. And the people in the comment was like, we, you know, you got to speak for yourself, Law, you know. And then people was just making the justification of the reason why they would love to see Jerry go on to glory. And I was like, come on, man, y'all wrong, baby, y'all wrong. Zeke last year in Dallas, this is from Christian. Zeke got the longest contract in Dallas. I think his contract don't end until 2026, if I'm not mistaken. And he's the straw that stirs the drink, according to, he's the straw that stirs the drink. Let me see what it says with the butter knife. I appreciate you. Law be sticking people with a butter knife. Give me that $20 million back. Yeah, give me the $20 million. Oh my gosh, man. And I love y'all. I love y'all for real, man. Even when y'all are thinking the way y'all thinking. Let me see if I can find this right quick. Y'all bear with me. Here we go. Bam. Here we go. As we look at this Zeke Elliott film, we make some adjustments right quick. Looking at, get my water right here. And we're looking at some of this Zeke Elliott film. And here's what I do know as we look at this film. When we talk about the justification for the nation, goat to scapegoat, there's no escapability of Ezekiel Elliott, not from his running technique, but from his salary technique, right? And what Cole Beasley said in this particular article, that, let me blow this out the way. In that article, he was saying, well, in that excerpt, he was saying basically, let me hit this again.
Aware of what Cole Beasley was tweeting out yesterday about management deciding who gets the football in an offensive scheme.
All right, so and you hear that little, that say laugh. You hear that laugh right there? You hear that laugh?
Football in an offensive scheme, Stephen.
You hear that little laugh? But he said he's honestly, the front office pushes who they want to get the ball. Now, I'm not Einstein over here. I'm not Einstein, but I can tell you guys that I think that Cole Beasley, there's some truth into his statement there, right? I mean, we can't refute it and say, well, he just lying and kicking. Well, what I'm trying to say is that there's no way in your natural mind that if you got a guy with a PCL tear, you're going to sit there and give this man that opportunity that he had the full season expecting for us to win. These Super Bowl It had something to do with style point, grace. And I can literally look into this thing and say, okay, you're trying to make the justification to satisfy your pocketbook to please the nation that Ezekiel Elliott is perfectly okay to run the ball with a torn PCL tear and to keep this away from all of us, not some of us, but from all of us, because the insiders had to know something, right? I wonder how much extra coins that they had to get to keep that on the hush. You mean to tell me they break every other news? They break every other news, but they can't break that part while the season is going on? I mean, come on, baby. If you believe that if somebody knew that he had a PCL tear, right? And you had a perfect, healthy Tony Pollard just sitting there eating his oodles and noodles on the bench. Or when the opportunity was out there to go make maybe a small trade for somebody or get someone that an insider, a person that's inside, or and don't castrate me and don't shank me with the butter knife. But how can this be casual leaks about lack of effort on Amari Cooper's side, but there's no casual leaks of Ezekiel, Elijah, Elliott about his PCL tear? I would have been all on that stuff like white on rice. I would have been having my articles. That's thousands upon thousands of dollars that particular insider didn't release from the Cowboys or didn't get from the medical person that, normally get the information from. Tony was hurt too. This is from Fair. When did Tony get hurt? He got hurt with that plantar. And everybody knew immediately, right?
Shame. Shame. Shame.
He get hurt. Everybody knows immediately, right? And then Ezekiel Elliott got hurt in that Carolina Panthers game. It took a whole year for Biggie and Tupac to realize, hey, man, he was hurt, dog. That's why he had that subpar year. You know what? Now I'm thinking, I'm wondering. I'm really wondering. What if I told you that it's not torn? Who's really the guy on the grassy knoll, right? What if I told you like Ripley's Believe It or Not? It is not torn. That's why you can't fabricate when he's going to have surgery, because it can heal on his own. No need for surgery. Conspiracy, partially torn, no, not torn, healthy. It's hard to put the toothpaste back into the tube. My guy, he said, you can't put Simpson. He said, Law, you can't put the toothpaste back into the tube. All right. I had movie time with my lady yesterday, and we was watching Love Is Blind on Netflix. Good series. There's the group of guys and girls. They see each other in the first opening, right? When they go over the rules of Love Is Blind, but they take these podcasts, right? The pods, I meant to say, and they separate the male and the female. And the Love Is Blind, we sitting there, eating our oodles and noodles and popcorn, chilling, watching Love Is Blind. And there's this one guy, You know, it was this one guy that was on there, and when he got down toward the latter part of the show, you had to pick. You had to flat out pick the person that you've been talking to, but you can't see them. You don't know what they look like. You can only go by voices and how they describe themselves, but you really don't know what they look like, right? So you're trying to build a rapport off of somebody. Love is Blind. Check it out. It's on Netflix. And there was this guy named Jared, and he had a choice between two ladies. A girl named Ayana, I think Ayana, and another girl named Mallory. But he really had it hot for Mallory. And Jared, he was like, man, Ayana, I'm going to tell you about a story. I got shanked with the knife, and I was left for dead. And I was in the hospital in ICU, and nobody was there. And Ayana was literally crying. She had it was like, that's the perfect match for you. And he just didn't like her voice, I guess. He was greedy. He wanted Mallory, though. He really wanted Mallory. So he told Ayana that, man, I got to let you go because I really feel that I got a chemistry with Mallory. I'm going to make this story shorter. So Ayana cries. She leaves out of her little pod unit. And this same guy, Jared, he get a chance and an opportunity to pick Mallory. She was Latina. So he had tacos and everything delivered to her little pod. And he went to details of saying that, hey, you the one. I really, really, really want you, Mallory. And Mallory was crying because he told her the same story, but it didn't hit her the same way. And she was like, you know what? I can't take this. I really not digging you. So this dude literally lost two birds with one. You know, two birds, better to have a bird in your hand than two birds in the bush and don't have none at all, however that saying goes. Well, he lost both birds basically by being greedy. He had Ayana. So the Cowboys organization, we have CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper, Michael Gallup, and Cedric Wilson. All of these guys played for us this past season. The Cowboys are now in a pickle because you got Gallup, who had a torn ACL, right? Clean tear. And you got Cedric Wilson, who you got to pay too. Malik Turner, you got to pay him as well, right? And now, if this thing goes sour with Amari Cooper and he fooled around, hear me out, Cowboy Nation. You done already muddied the waters by allowing this news to be leaked out, Cowboy Nation. If you allow this stuff to continue to go on, we will be flat up looking at CeeDee Lamb and Simi Fehoko and TJ Vasher. Shout out to my dog, TJ Vasher. That's hope and a prayer looking, because we don't know what Gallup is going to look like, and you better be sure of what you're going to do with Cedric Wilson, because he may be looking at it and saying, okay, yeah, Gallup will lowball you, but this is going to be my first check, man, and I've been making $480,000 a year. I mean, Miami got endless amount of money. You know, even the Philadelphia Eagles got salary cap space. The Denver, anybody, you know, I might want to get up out of here. You know, I'm seeing how this thing go. And Noah Brown, yeah, he's gone, right? He's on the free agent market. So the Cowboys better be careful, unless they're going to end up like Jared. And when Mallory, look, back to that Netflix show, Love is Blind. And when Mallory told Jared, no. Jared was through, man. Jared, let me see if I can find a button for him. You know, Jared was through. He was crying to the fellas. He was boo-hooing. I was like, man, this big old grown man crying all on TV, national TV. Because she said, no, I don't like you like that. It's crazy, man. It's a good show, good episode, though. Y'all go watch Love is Blind, but shame on that.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
I hope, and the Commanders, I think they have cap space, right? They have cap space. I hope the Commanders don't get Amari if he's released. His life is crazy. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, by the way, which one of you guys put me on Calvin Austin? Which one of y'all put me on Calvin Austin? I know one of y'all in here. Which one of y'all put me on Calvin Austin? Yeah, Ferris says that, they don't have any QB, though. BD Gray. Well, call them the Commodes, man. Don't call them Washington football team. KD said, okay, it was you, KD. Well, let me see if I can pull this up. All right, so you see the 40-yard dash, right? You see the 40-yard dash. And you see Calvin with the C. Austin, he got a 4.32. And I like the 40 times or what have you, which is cool. I like it. It's something that you can look at and say, okay, all right, cool. But 40 times or 40 times, basically, right? I mean, it's not going to say that you can guarantee to run your routes. So we look at other things, right? So you see Calvin name up there. This is between out of all of the guys coming out of this 2022 draft, right? And we're going to look at the vertical. And I stroll down. Let me see, make sure I'm on the right one. Did I see Calvin Austin? Calvin Austin is down there now. That little joker can jump out of the roof. His name up there too. That little joker can jump. Of course, Isaiah Weston is jumping out of the building too. But this little joker right here can jump. All right, so let's look at broad jump, okay? And Christian Watson, he's pretty good. I ain't talking about Randy Watson. Christian Watson is good too. But I look at it and I see Calvin Austin name down there again, the third. That let me know that he can jump high. He can jump out of the building. He can jump long. That's showing that he's explosive with his 40-yard dash and everything. And I'm looking at the consistency. And he could just be a workout warrior, right? But I look at his 3-cone for your mind, and I'm sitting here like, all right, cool. I see that he's up there with the 3-cone. And 3-cone, that change of direction, that shifting of your hips, getting down low with it, and then the 20-yard shuffle. He up there too. He up there in all categories, Cowboy Nation. And when you see something like that, that brother is athletic. That's a space eater. That's a guy that's got short area quickness. Those are things that you can translate. My only thing is I don't know if he's injury prone or not. When I dig up all of his tape, I'll let y'all know. But this dude right here, it just seemed like when he's running, when I look at his film, as far as like some of the stuff that's out there on the YouTube world and everything, everybody else be like in slow motion. So I'm sitting like, okay, all around, his short area quickness is there. He can climb pretty high, and his burst and his acceleration is just crazy with it. So how y'all feel about Calvin Austin, as the Cowboys were looking to this? Byron Jones set the world record for vertical, didn't he? Let me see if somebody beat Byron Jones' record anytime soon out of this thing. So I have to go here, and I had to hit all. And it was the broad jump? Let's see if he's going to be the first name up there. Search it. All positions not available. Come on, yeah, they tripping. Oh, I know I can get it. Put that refresh action on it, but while that's doing that, Russell Gage, he found Russell Gage ended up beating him on that broad. It was a broad jump, yeah. Let me get back to it. That thing right there got his own mind. Law Nation, he giving away 2-man secret. Look at that spinning thing. It's crazy. But Cowboy Nation, I really appreciate you guys for jumping in. JV Bad Boy says he support Memphis. I support Calvin Austin. Yeah, I appreciate you. What is the broad jump? Broad jump is when you jump abroad, right? Vertical is when you jump vertically. So that's just what that goes with right here. Let me see. That thing's still spinning right here. Riding spinners. I'm riding spinners. All right. Okay. All right. Had to refresh. Yeah, he still holds the record. 12 point. Yeah. He still got the record for the NFL Combine record. 12-3. Right? So, and believe it or not, even Orlando Scandrick with the 4.32 run that he ran, he was pretty much up there. Let me see. As far as the 40 time, he was still up there. Let me see if his name's still on there. They probably bumped him down now. Oh, he's still there. He's still there. Orlando's still up there. So, 4.32. Shoot, that boy going. And John Ross was moving too. And one more guy ran a 4.28. Taquan, yeah. He fast too. That Thornton. When you go back and look at his film, you say, yeah, I see that 4.2 now. You see it though, but he needs a sandwich, man. I don't know, man, if he can take those hits like that, man, on his next level. That's the world record. It's the world record. Wow. He should get checks monthly for that, right? Should he? Oh my gosh, man. Let me see, what do we do here? Cowboy Nation. I got another video that we're gonna do. I really appreciate you guys for jumping in. Be sure, if you guys understand that when we talk about these things, we talk about it in a way whereas we want what's good for the organization. And the Eye in the Sky Doesn't Lie tape is going to come out in a few seconds. Let me save it around here. Appreciate y'all, man, for your donation there. Jay Versick, thank you for help growing the nation. And, of course, all donations for this month will be entered in for the Playmaker jersey, the one of the greatest wide receivers that I got a chance to see, that I can remember. And I really appreciate you, man. And for those who are out here on the Facebook, Patreon, and the Facebook supporters, your name will be entered in as well. Look, we could talk about Amari Cooper, but we can't talk about Irvin, and his faults or what have you. Tyreek Hill ain't up there. He ran unknown, right? I think Tyreek had that situation that was going on with hitting his fiance that was pregnant in the stomach and all of that stuff. It was crazy what Tyreek had going on at the time. And allegedly, and put allegedly. I don't want to get hit up like Tasha K. Tasha K owed Cardi B, what is it, $4 million or something like that? I don't got that Tasha K money like that. I don't think Tasha K got Tasha K money. If you don't know who that is, just look it up on Google. Yeah, you gotta say allegedly. Got to say allegedly. All right, Cowboy Nation, here's the video. I'm put the link out there. Be sure to hit that like, share this content. Come join me on the YouTube page, and we're gonna listen in to this video. The smear campaign for Amari Cooper. And basically, it is the all 22. It's every play of Amari Cooper in that 49ers game, 41ers game. If my brother is watching, shout out to him. It's his birthday today. My brother, the twin maker, the twin empire, it's his birthday today, March the 6th. And shout out to your ass motors. I see you, baby. I see you over there, man. Shout out to you. You just joined over there on the premiere. Appreciate you. Y'all jump over to the premiere. We premiere the smear campaign video of Amari Cooper. Y'all jump on in over there. But appreciate everybody for jumping in. The All 22 will be visible as well on Facebook in a few. I really appreciate you guys. Shout out to you. I'm going to just give shots out to everybody who jump in within in the next 50 seconds. Shout out to you, Small. Appreciate you, man, for jumping in. Cowboy Nation, post me your thoughts. Post me your concerns of this team. Remember, free agent kicks off, I believe, March the 13th. So it's right around the corner. It's right around the corner. And, of course, March 20th is the deadline that we have to keep in our mind. Shout out to you, Pickle Rick, Sugar Daddy 1. Appreciate y'all. Y'all some real ones that jumping over. That's been my time. I really thank you all for yours. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Let's go, Cowboy Nation. Let's go. We up out of here.